because he was gonna be big if he would have stayed. I begged him though. I swear to God, man, stay out here, gang.
But it turns out Lil Jeff was addicted to internet clout, and trolling his ops, both dead and alive, got him all the clout he wanted. I mean, even his mom was on social media cheering him on and encouraging him to slide on his ops, but he didn't know when to quit, and soon he joined King Vo in attaining serial killer status, and he became a master troll just like Julio Fulio.
And Corbin, they let Corbin get kidnapped, man. That's crazy, man. The Corbin. Got this stupid kidnapped. They found that bones.
But despite his tough act, his last words on the day he died will be remembered by his ops and his fans, and they are nothing short of sad and blood curl. Lil Jeff's last words. Chicago has seen numerous rappers die before they could reach their full potential, from La Capone to FBG Duck. Each death is more tragic than the last, so when Lil Jeff was pronounced dead on June 8, 2024, the Chicago drill scene was brought to a standstill on his last day alive. The rapper was busy, doing what he loved best. He promoted his music, flaunted cash, smoked a blunt, and played with guns. But there was one other thing that he loved doing, and sadly, he was killed doing exactly that. Sliding on his ops. If Jeff would have been asked, his was a happy ending. But to his friends, family, and fans, it was a sad way to go. And immediately after his death, internet detectives were quick to piece together his last moments. Turns out one of the last times he would be seen alive by his fans. Before he was murked by his ops, he and a few of his homies had stopped at a gas station. Fellow rapper Vert took to his Instagram stories to share a photo of himself, Lil Jeff, and a third person hanging out at a gas station. In the photo, Lil Jeff is seen wearing a blue hoodie and gray jeans, seemingly distracted by something beyond the camera's view. Vert captioned the post in the hood. "We could tragically, this would be one of the last known images of Lil Jeff the next time he was caught. On camera would be the final time his fans would see him alive." Because the next morning, popular journalist Kyle Mazza broke the sad news on his X account saying, "Unidentified male victim shot and killed in Chicago, Illinois, on June 8th. 2024 Spot News reports that the victim killed is Chicago rapper Bloodhound Lil Jeff. His post detailed the harrowing incident, stating at approximately 5:14 p.m. Saturday afternoon on the 6600 block of S. Rhodes Avenue, a male victim, John Doe, was near the sidewalk when he was struck in the chest by gunfire. The report further explained what followed. The victim was transported to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. There are no suspects in custody. A large number of shell casings were located at the crime scene, and it wasn't long before CCTV footage of the rapper's death found its way onto the internet. The minute-by-minute chain of events was wild. The surveillance footage from the 6600 block of S. Rhodes Avenue captured a group of individuals near a house in several parked cars. Among them were Lil Jeff's homies, the ones in the black car, the person dressed all in black, another in red, who was later identified as Q50, and one wearing a white hoodie. Meanwhile, a man in yellow shorts was seen attempting to get into a car when Lil Jeff spotted him in the footage. The door of the black car opens. It's Lil Jeff without hesitation. He begins chasing the man in yellow shorts. However, his figure quickly disappears from view, obscured by a large pillar of the house. While Lil Jeff pursued the target, his homies did not follow. Instead, they turned their attention to a gray car opening fire. Lil Jeff managed to hit the man in yellow shorts once in the chest. But before he could press further, two other individuals suddenly emerged from an alley and returned fire. His body was sent flying back onto the ground at the foot of the porch, and as Lil Jeff lay on the pavement, the shooters finished the job. Reports say they emptied an entire magazine into him from above, making sure there was no coming back. Q50. And the other shooter fired back, but it was already over. There was no saving him. And just like that, the crew abandoned him, hopping back in the car and speeding off, leaving Jeff behind in a pool of blood. As the video ends, scanner reports confirm that a victim who had been shot 15 times was transported to the hospital by his homies. CCTV footage actually showed Lil Jeff's carrying their homie from the porch where he had been shot up. Despite their efforts, Lil Jeff was pronounced dead upon arrival. Meanwhile, the man in yellow shorts, also wounded, arrived at the hospital with his own crew suffering from a gunshot wound to the chest, unlike Lil Jeff. He survived by the time authorities arrived. The scene was littered with evidence. 58 shell casings scattered across the pavement. Lil Jeff had led a violent life and had now entered the history books as a rap serial killer allegedly. He had 11 bodies to his name. Interestingly, the other rapper who was given that title surprisingly also died in a similar way was none other than King Von, and to many, he is rap's first serial killer. And just like Lil Jeff, King Von's death could have been prevented. There's an eerie similarity between Lil Jeff's and King Von's deaths. I mean, both deaths were caught on camera. But what's even more surprising is that in both cases, the deceased rappers were the aggressors on the day V was killed. He had flown out his entourage from New York to Atlanta for an album release party. V had just released his first album, Welcome to A Block, after the party. V and his entourage were set to go back to their rented Airbnbs. However, V took a detour and headed for Monaco Hookah Lounge. But when he got there, he didn't go in. Instead, he stayed in his car. While at the parking lot, he got wind that one of his ops fellow rapper, Quad Rondo, had been spotted at the parking lot. V sprung into action. CCTV footage showed V approaching fellow rapper Quando Rondo and punching him to the ground. V's guys joined in and started raining blows on Quando as he tried in vain to get away from his attackers. In a split second, one of Kyu's homeboys, who was later identified as L. Tim, appeared from behind their vehicle with a gun in hand and started letting off shots as everyone ran away. V was hit on his torso. Another striking similarity with Lil Jeff's death is that Von's homies carried.
And the paperwork can say he was hit 19 times in the chest area.
He was shot 19
times. And that's how I think they grabbed Rob for the murder, because it's overkill. It ain't self-defense 19 times.
However, reports surfaced on Reddit showing that Lil Jeff's killer Trap City Rob had his charges downgraded from first-degree murder to a gun charge. Another Reddit post revealed that Trap City was initially arrested for the Lil Jeff murder because a witness placed him at the scene when Lil Jeff died. However, the Chicago Police Department investigated and couldn't prove that he was the actual shooter. So they just dropped his murder charge and gave him a gun charge. And, just like Von's killer, Lil Jeff's killer won't go down for the rapper's death, and while to some Lil Jeff was a hoodlum who deserved everything that he got to others. He was a hero, a friend and a son, and they all paid tribute to him. But one disturbing thing about the tributes was what the deceased rapper parents said on the internet following their son's death. Hip-hop reacts to Lil Jeff's death. The reactions to Lil Jeff's death were shocking, especially from his parents and from their reaction on social media. It was easy to tell why Lil Jeff ended up being a serial killer. You see, Julio Fulio's mom revealed that she had tried to talk his son out of the gang life.
A list of dead ops where he's just naming everybody who passed away. Are you begging him not to put these out? Are you telling him to delete these videos?
I used to talk to him or whatever, and I like, oh, Charles, why would you do that? Why did you do that? He was like, Mom, you seen what they said about you?
I have my son done to y'all to make y'all, disrespect him like this. Every song they make, it's got we smoking on Tuka this, Tuka that. You know how long my son been gone? Since 2011, this is 2022, and he's still.
But Lil Jeff's folks decided to mourn their dead son in a shocking series of posts. It turns out Lil Jeff's mom encouraged her son to slide on her ops. Lil Jeff once posted a screenshot of a conversation with his mom in the messages. Jeff's mom is over the moon that her son's name is hot in the streets. Go ahead. Son, your name ringing bells in the streets. In another message, she says, I love it sliding on them. Whoever slept in the bed with you, Lil Jeff was ecstatic over his mom's endorsement of his lifestyle and posted the screenshot with the caption, all I got to say is she watched me work that 60 woo, and while the rapper's mom endorsed her son's street life, Lil Jeff's dad posted something worse. He took to Facebook like a real G, and asked his son's homies to slide for their dead friend and to let it be known, y'all didn't get him. He came trying to get y'all, and what happened happened. But the saga continues. Clear the streets. It was hard to believe his parents would encourage him to become a murderous thug, and the internet cooked them. One comment read, "Man, this got to be fake. There's no way this is his actual parents, bro. You've got no chance." In another one, "Killing while you got your mom and dad's support is a new unlocked level of crazy. His OGs some straight losers. How are you happy that your son went from a high school graduate to running around these streets on BS? I ain't knocking what the he weighs in. It happens and lose themselves or go cold-hearted, but to be on some brick and duck OG is some next-level brain dead," said one fan. His homies also took to social media to express their grief. Over Lil Jeff's death, Lil Scum, a close associate of the Bloodhounds, posted a series of stories following the murder, mourning his friend with the caption, "Damn brother, this don't feel real, and I love. I'm going to be with you real soon." Talk about foreshadowing your death, because a few weeks later, Lil Show would also be shot and killed in the Chicago gang war. Although Lil Jeff's homies posted tributes and heartbreak stories, others revealed that he had it coming. Fellow rapper Rico Reckless revealed in multiple interviews that he knew Lil Jeff was going to either get locked up.
So a lot of calls I was getting was, man, his tweaking. I'm like, what are you doing? And they was saying something you doing. I said, oh yeah, this how Chicago go. Yeah. When they get scared, he's gonna do two things. They gonna put the police on you, or they gonna put the police on you, or you gonna just get killed for trying to do gangster shit. Because everybody gangsters gonna be big. If you would've stayed, I begged him though. I swear to God, man, stay out here, gang. Cause they had a whole spot they was at, and I told him, like, even if you don't want to stay there, you come stay with me, man. Before you come stay at the spot.
It turns out Lil Jeff isn't the only Chicago rapper he tried to convince to stay away from Chicago, and ended up getting killed in the city. In a past interview, Rico Reckless revealed that he had tried to warn FBG Cash, but he didn't listen, and ended up getting shot and killed.
Call. He, what's up, gang? What's up, gang? I'm like, where you at? He like, man, I'm in Iraq. I say, when you just in Houston? He like, yeah. He pull out a Draco with a clear kill. Yeah, I'm in Iraq, but I'm good though. I say straight up, as a brother, as a friend, I say, man, bro, I ain't gonna lie, Scud, that don't mean nothing. Everybody got them good. Man, go back to Houston.
Well, if they had listened to Rico and stayed out of Chicago, they might have escaped the gang war and had a successful career, like Chief Keef. And although FBG Cash and Lil Jeff had the option to leave the city behind, most of Lil Jeff's victims didn't have that choice. And with Lil Jeff lurking in the shadows, no one was safe. Lil Jeff's victims, the Chicago drill scene, had a lot to say about Lil Jeff, but his death also brought to the surface the pain he had caused countless families, with his death trending on social media. Redditors resurrected the memory of Lil Jeff's victims, and perhaps one of the most horrific murders by Lil Jeff was the 2024 shooting of two teens outside their school in broad daylight on Friday, the 26th of January, 2024. Robert Boston, alias Lil Rob, and Monteria Williams, alias Monty Wood, he attending the Innovations High School, located in downtown Chicago. The two teens had no idea they were about to walk straight into an ambush at 12:30 p.m. as students exited the school for their routine lunch break. Chaos broke out. Two cars suddenly pulled up near the Washington train station. Suddenly, masked gunmen jumped out and opened fire, targeting Monty and Lil Rob. When the shooting finally stopped, Monty and Lil Rob lay motionless on the pavement, bleeding. Out in front of their classmates above the street, a witness standing on the train platform captured the aftermath on camera. The final moments of two young lives slipping away. Emergency responders rushed to the scene, but it was too late. Both Monty and Lil Rob were later pronounced dead at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Lil Jeff went all out, mocking his dead ops, throwing subtle hints on social media, claiming the two bodies. The level of trolling by Lil Jeff over these two bodies was diabolical, and reminded everyone of a famous Jacksonville rapper who was well known for his disrespectful antics. I'm talking about Julio Fulio. While Fulio was alive, he showed no mercy to his ops, especially dead ops. The tragic death of Corbin Johnson became a regular target for FIO.
This man got kidnapped, bro. This man got his kidnapped, like real deal, lost and found type shit.
Was last seen alive on July 11th, 2018. On the evening of July 13th, his family officially reported Corbin missing. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office began their investigation, but never made any progress. Days turned into weeks, into months and months, into a year of uncertainty as the first anniversary of Corbin's disappearance approached. The family planned a memorial at Riverside's Memorial Park. However, on the evening of July 11, 2019, a man clearing land off UD Road made a shocking discovery. Corbin's skeleton was found wrapped and buried, bringing a tragic end to the search. Folio was all up on Instagram making fun of Corbin after the discovery was made.
Corbin, they let Corbin get kidnapped, man. That shit crazy, man. The Corbin. Got this stupid ass kidnapped. They found that bones. Getting kidnapped like a little baby. Like, I know he was crying. Please. Help! What? Help!
Corbin's death was never solved, but word on the street is that Fulio's gang 6 Block took him out, and just like Fulio, there are horrific murders in Chicago that are credited to Lil Jeff but haven't been solved by the cops. This is the murder of 15-year-old Kadani Smith, who was found dead in the trunk of a burning car on December 15, 2023. Chicago police and fire. Crews responded to reports of a burning vehicle at about 2:01 a.m. The vehicle was in an alley, and after crew put out the fire, they found the teen's body in the trunk. The medical examiner's report was gruesome. It turns out that the teen had been shot multiple times in the neck and chest before his body was set ablaze in the stolen vehicle. But having unsolved crimes to their names wasn't the only thing Fio and Lil Jeff had in common. You see, when Lil Jeff was buried, his ops refused to let him rest in peace. Ver had a mural set up for his fallen brother, but not long after Lil Jeff's ops uploaded a video of the desecrating it. One of the grave sites he allegedly destroyed belonged to Spaz, who was shot and killed in August 2018, and whose memory was often disrespected by Folio and songs. The video showed someone spitting and pissing on Spaz's grave.
This video, posted on social media, shows what appears to be a man spitting
Gerard Adams.
and urinating
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun.
and caking decorations.
You all this
Some probably done in their mind like that. Like, like Fulio.
Man,
Down in Florida.
Fulio, fool.
Now, why you say f him?
We don't know them, gang, so I ain't gonna lie. If I don't know you, your ass a goofy, just keep gang.
Sadly, Lil Shumi would also lose his life shortly after this interview dropped. Shumi was gunned down just a month after Lil Jeff's death on June 7th. Tragedy struck in the Chatham neighborhood at the intersection of 89th Place and Langley Avenue at around. Lil Sco and his 16-year-old friend got into a heated argument with another individual. Words turned into threats, and in the blink of an eye, gunfire erupted. When the smoke cleared, Sco was down. His friend was wounded but survived. Paramedics rushed Sco to the University of Chicago Medical Center, but the damage was done. He didn't make it. Meanwhile, police spotted a suspect fleeing. The scene and a foot chase ensued. Shots were fired at officers, leading to a massive emergency response. CPD, SWAT, and multiple districts were called in, but in the chaos, the gunman managed to escape. And although Scoy and Lil Jeff were not Fio fans, they were fans of yet another disrespectful rapper who had no mercy for his ops, whether dead or alive. This is none other than Philly's own YBC in one particularly shocking video. Dole pretended to dig up an enemy's grave at a cemetery, a move that outraged his ops and saw his name spread like wildfire on the internet. He even called himself Mr. Disrespectful.
Stepping in with the most disrespectful rapper, person, human being on the planet, YBC Dude, aka Mr. Disrespectful.
I saw a documentary about you that said you're the most hated rapper in Philadelphia. Is that cap? You know that ain't.
And for being the most disrespectful rapper, he was also the most hated. I saw a documentary about you that said you're the most hated rapper in Philadelphia. Is the cap? You know that ain't no love. Sadly, just like his collaborators Esco and Lil Jeff YBC do also lost his life in a drive-by shooting. But on the right side, if Lil Jeff was still alive, he would have been serving time behind bars, turns out cops pieced together evidence in the deaths of Monty and Lil Rob using social media posts. phone records, auto theft reports, and countless hours of surveillance video to identify the 3 shooters. And one of them was Lil Jeff, meaning he could have been arrested alongside 22-year-old Tommy Coleman, who is now charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, attempted murder, aggravated discharge of a firearm toward an occupied vehicle, being a felon in possession of a firearm, and failing to register as a gun offender. Although Lil Jeff's story is tragic, it's not new. The pattern of gangs antagonizing their rivals in their music and having each other killed in broad daylight shows no signs of stopping and is sad as that. Maybe you can watch similar stories by clicking the cards on your screen.